from efforts to gain entry into the 11th Parliament to an assessment of the performance of that Parliament. In our ongoing series of the Jubilee government's 100 days audit, we take a look at the legislature. What has the 11th Parliament been able to achieve in the first 100 days? Here's KTN's Yvonne Okwara with the highlights.
All right, thank you very much. Now, let's take a look at some of the bills that have made it through Parliament in the last 100 days. And we'll start off with those that were inherited from the 10th Parliament, obviously with the Marriage Bill 2013. Now, of course, this seeks to consolidate the 7 laws on marriage, which were all separate in the law and have now been amalgamated in this bill. And it also recognizes polygamy. It defines marriage as a voluntary union between a man and a woman in either a monogamous or a polygamous union, and of course has also talked about the payment of a bride price. Now, one of the controversial issues about the Marriage Bill 2013 is that jilted partners can now sue for broken promises. Apparently, in Section 74, it says that once you make a promise to marry another person, even though it is not legally binding, but those who feel they have suffered as a result of that broken promise can go to court and seek compensation. Of course, the issue with that would be proving that a promise was indeed made. And here's another one talking about payment of a dowry, bride price that is optional, and if and when that can be done, it will be a token to perhaps remove the issue of money being a major factor in marriages in the country today. A lot of controversy with this one. We will see whether it will be watered down as it goes through the various readings in the House. Let's move on to another one. And this one was key, and the 10th Parliament was unable to pass this through just before the last election, and that's the Campaign Financing Bill. Now, it seeks to fix the amount of money a politician can use in the election. Of course, the whole aim of this is to prevent money having an impact on the outcome of any election, and it also regulates the source of campaign money. Now, one of the important things it does is it stops business people and special interest groups from sponsoring any politician to Parliament, and has also prescribed some pretty harsh penalties for those that go against it. And here are some of them. Apparently, politicians who use public resources, including official vehicles, could face a 2-year jail term or a fine of 2 million shillings. And for those who fail to disclose funds or donations made to their campaign kitty, could be disqualified from participating in that election. This has also been tabled in Parliament on the same day that the marriage bill was tabled in Parliament as well. Let's take a look at another controversial one that was also inherited from the 10th Parliament, and that is the VAT bill. And you know this by now. It seeks to raise about 10 billion shillings and add that to KRA's yearly collection. And of course, according to Henry Rotich, who's the Cabinet Secretary in Finance, he says putting some of these goods and these essential items like food and sanitary towels and cooking gas, including computer hardware and software, this will help to raise the 10 billion shillings that they're looking for. But his statement was that this bill will simplify, modernize, and reduce the cost of compliance in the country. We do know that the Jubilee members of Parliament have backtracked on some of these, and they've removed UNGA and put it back on that list of zero-rated items. Let's now take a look at some other bills. And this one is one that has been passed, and I think this would be, of course, what is very, very good for the Parliament that they've been able to pass, and that is the Division of Revenue Bill. In the last 100 days, out of everything that's been in Parliament, this is the one they've been able to pass. It was assented into law by the President in June, and this split Parliament into two. The Senate feeling like they were sidelined in the process. They had made amendments to that, seeking to have 258 billion shillings taken to the counties. The members of National Assembly ignored those amendments, and the President was then, as he said at the time, compelled into signing that into law. And of course, you know, it governs the decision of the division of revenue between the national and the county government. Let's move on to another one that is also contentious, and you've seen this one in the press lately, and it's the National Police Service Amendment Bill 2013. You know this by now. It's proposing to reduce the recruitment and redeployment and disciplinary powers of the National Police Service Commission and give those powers over to the Inspector General. What is the state of this bill at the moment? Well, it is still undergoing some review and some input from various stakeholders. This is what has been able to happen in the last 100 days as far as what happens in Parliament. Back to you.